Welcome to Let's Talk. This is August 21st, 2018. Today's discussion is going to be about or regarding the Maha-mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And what we're going to be discussing is conception. Conception. What's the definition of conception?
You can say maybe ontology, the internal meaning of something.
The substantial meaning of something, or conception would be also probably, we could say, use the word siddhanta. And siddhanta is sometimes synonymous with philosophy, but they're not so accurate. I think siddhanta a little bit more to the side of the English word conception.
Right.
In other words, what do you think it's all about?
It basically says the dictionary definition is the understanding of something.
The understanding of something. All right, Great. So we're going to begin with, well, the first, why even we're picking this topic. Everybody knows Hare Krishna is all about Krishna, right? Yes, that's all well and fine. But I was surprised to learn from you, Giri Maharaj, of some of the contemporary, rather odd thinking about the Maha-mantra, about the holy name, amongst contemporary Vaishnavas, what it means, what's the conception behind it, what are they thinking? So we'll get into that specifically. And but I was, of course, already aware of many conceptions, or what we would call misconceptions regarding the holy name, which have sprung up over the last 500 years in India, regarding how one should chant, who can chant, or that recent quote we found from the Madhva Sampradaya, better to avoid this Maha-mantra altogether. That was a hoot.
Better to avoid the Madhvas altogether.
That's a good idea, right? But that's quite in contrast to so many, again, contemporary devotees from the West that hold Udupi and the Madhva Mutts in such high esteem, as if, in very high esteem. But I always say, a 6-month bhakta in the Hare Krishna temple almost anywhere in the world has made more advancement than a lifetime sannyasi in the Madhva Sampradaya. It's like, what? And what do you mean? And say, well, I have met many of them, including Pejwar Swami, who's the most revered, and none of them have understood that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. They all understand that Krishna is a personality of Godhead. In other words, he's an avatar of Vishnu. Once I had one of those short discussions with one of the acharyas in Udupi. What is Param Dham? He said Vaikuntha. Who is Swayam Bhagavan? Narayan. Just one of these short question and answer things. Really bringing them out. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said there's only one good thing in your sampradaya, which I can find acceptable. One thing in their whole sampradaya, and that they do say that Krishna's body is Satchidananda. It's not a product of matter. But everything else, from Krishna to the gopis, to the associates, to the Leela of Krishna, to Goloka, well, Goloka doesn't even exist in their conception, you see. So conception is all important, and about the Madhvas, this isn't our topic today. That'd be something else. He only accepted one good thing, and you can find this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he doesn't say, he says, there's only one thing in your sampradaya.
Yeah, Toma Sampradaya.
Sampradaya.
He didn't say our Sampradaya.
He didn't say our Sampradaya. He says in your Sampradaya. So anyway, that's another nice discussion sometime. But they also have a peculiar conception of the name and who can chant and all these types of things. All right, so we're going to begin with, nobody knows anything about the holy name here in the Western world unless it comes from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada. And it's rather foolish if anybody thinks anything different. He is the one who brought the Maha-mantra across he didn't bring it to England. Others had been to England, Germany. Europe had some contact in the 30s with the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta. And Europeans from Europe, from Austria, from Germany, from England, from different places, came and had extensive contact with the Gaudiya Mutt in the 1920s, early 1930s, even in the 1940s. But Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, made that final leap across the Atlantic to the Americas, the new, what was still called and is still referred to in some places as the New World. He brought the holy name to the New World, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda and the Panchatattva. They brought the holy name to planet Earth.
Yep.
But it didn't reach this part of planet Earth for approximately 500 years until our Guru Maharaj made that journey on the Jaladuta. So Prabhupada brought the holy name to the West. And recently, Giri, I think you visited Tompkins Square Park in New York City and the famous, Hare Krishna tree.
Yep.
We should have got a picture of that.
Yeah.
I think while you're talking and giving some of these quotes, I'll try to find out where is that picture. Anyway, so that's become a holy place, and there's a plaque there in the park by the city of New York saying something about the start of the Hare Krishna movement there. Just like there are certain trees in India that people visit and say this happened or that happened. There's even a tree in Kurukshetra where there's a sign that says Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita under this tree. Prabhupada laughed about that, No, I don't think Krishna was speaking Bhagavad Gita under a tree.
There's no tree in India that's 5,000 years old. No,
I don't think so. But that tree is there in Tompkins Park, and it is certainly a holy place, and many devotees visit that every year. I even took Vishwambar Goswami, who's no longer present, but he was the Goswami from the Radharaman temple in Vrindavan, and he had a close relationship and admiration and affection and appreciation of Srila Prabhupada. And when he came to New York, I was sometime in the 80s, I can't remember, it's like mid-80s, he came to the West, New York, and Chaturatma, a devotee named Chaturatma in New York, and myself, we hosted Vishwambar Goswami, and one of the places we took him, in addition to 26 Second Avenue, was that tree. And that's where the first public Sankirtan began. The chanting had been going on in 26 Second Avenue, and even before that, in Prabhupada's apartments.
Right.
But so that's kind of like, that's where the public Sankirtan movement began. So Prabhupada brought the Sankirtan movement. He brought the holy name of Krishna. And everything else well, not everything, because we have now things in the Western world that His Divine Grace didn't really bring. I don't want to get into that, but there have been a lot of things that have worked their way in to the Hare Krishna movement that he didn't bring. And one might say, well, your beard's one of them. And I would have to agree to that, but this is not a permanent profile here. I'm not going to go into more detail on that, but this is not a permanent profile. So anyway, he brought the holy name and everything accompanying the holy name. And it didn't all land all at once. I think devotees have to realize this. It didn't just all come out in one lecture, one talk. It was piece by piece. In fact, it was Krishna consciousness first, rules and regulations later. If you can ever, I spoke extensively with Brahmananda Swami when he was in Africa back in the day in the 70s, and he took me to Africa to be part of his program there, Brahmananda Swami. And I heard, so many things about the early days, the first of days in the Hare Krishna movement, even before the formation of ISKCON.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me such things as, finding packs of cigarettes behind the pictures on the altar. People were still smoking cigarettes, but tending the altar. People that were outside coming in totally stoned on LSD and marijuana and so many things. And then as the years went by, of course, the rules, regulations became established. But then there's that period, I don't know exactly the dates. I think it's in the late 60s. A group of the Swamis, there were some Swamis by then, Vishnu Jan Swami, and Brahmananda was a Swami at that time, and he told me the story how they decided, oh, don't you get it? Prabhupada is Krishna. And that was a bomb, and it backfired on them, and Brahmananda told me how they were all then expelled. They were not allowed to go to any temples, and Prabhupada told them, you go out and purify yourself, preach Bhagavad Gita as it is, and by the way, I'm not Krishna. And after some months, not so long, a few months, I don't know what it was again, I have a poor memory on these things, he made contact with them, called them back. And then it was said, that, and it was very emphasized, Guru is not God. A jiva is always a jiva.
Mm-hmm.
And that became like, okay, we got that now. We understand that. And going forward, no one, until a couple of years ago, one of Prabhupada's very old disciples in Vrindavan gave a lecture and said that Prabhupada was Lord Chaitanya.
That's why he was angry when we said he was Krishna.
That's right, because in the Leela of Lord Chaitanya, if anybody called him Krishna, he would cover his ears, Krishna, Krishna, and run away. So this devotee said, yes, you see, back then when Prabhupada was being called Krishna, of course he was angry about that because he's actually Lord Chaitanya. And it was just like, oh, jeez, And, well, I don't know. I think that devotee was banned from lecturing anymore in the Krishna Balaram temple. I don't know. Just a story I heard from a friend of mine in Vrindavan. So from the very beginning, there was a tendency towards misunderstandings. Mayavad theory had made it to the Western world before Srila Prabhupada, People like Vivekananda, Hindu Shmindu Bindus had been there, polluting the atmosphere. All kind of other Mayavadi gurus had already landed in California. Yogananda had been there, and then there were the hippie gurus of Ram Dass, Be Here Now, all kind of impersonalism, misconceptions. And so I think it's fair to say that in Srila Prabhupada's preaching, historically, he was having to fend off these things and put up, plug the dam, so to speak, stop certain conceptions, just stop them dead in their tracks, so to speak. So he, at that time, about him being declared Krishna, what did he say? He said, Guru is never God. And the jiva is always a jiva. And that stopped that tendency. But as we go on, that's not exactly always correct. Sometimes God does become the Guru. Who was the Guru of Rup Sanatan? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is he? Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality of Godhead is sometimes Guru. Jiva is always the Jiva. Not so. There's a recording that we have of Satsvarup Maharaj, and I don't know if Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there, but there were quite a few devotees speaking with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And they were asking him about the Guru accepting karma of the disciples. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, what did they say? Karma? Because karma is a word, but it has a lot
many meanings,
levels of meanings. And first of all, it just means work. Do they accept the work, the karma? What did they say? And he's acquiring that. And so Sasvarup Maharaj spoke up, and he wanted to, clarify and what they were saying. He says, well, what we want to know, Sridhar Maharaj, is that when the guru, and he was starting to say, when the guru, who is a jiva soul, he said, when the guru, who is a jiva soul, and then he was going to say, accepts a disciple, does he accept that other disciple's karma? Well, Sridhar Maharaj just stepped right in and broke into his speak and said, guru is not a jiva.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? What? And of course it was later explained that guru tattva, if a jiva is selected and is empowered to become a guru, he may be, whatever the case, he's no longer jiva tattva, he's guru tattva.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very small subtleties, many small subtleties. So this is not that, you always have to repeat this. This is not to say that Srila Prabhupada didn't know and didn't understand all the subtleties. That's not what we're saying. It's like if you go to school, we all went to school, we went to primary school, we went to first standard. It would be rather foolish to think that lady or that man who was about probably in late 20s or 30s, who was teaching us ABC or Ka, Ka, Ga, the elementary language of our country, that's all they knew.
Right.
That's all they knew. They'd be rather foolish. The person might even have a PhD in something, but they chose to teach elementary school for some reason. Whatever. Mm-hmm. So it isn't all that the teacher knows is always given to the student, especially the primary students. But what's given to the primary students is what's good for their stage, and what was good for our stage back in the day in the 60s and pretty much you could say the whole time Srila Prabhupada was present was to give us that knowledge and understanding which we could progress with, but at the same time limit us in being able to wander off. For example, in 1971, a devotee named Siddhaswarup from Hawaii, Siddhaswarupananda Goswami, and another devotee named Gaurasundar from Hawaii, Govinda Dasi's husband. They went on a tour in the United States, and they were preaching that the living entities come from the Brahma Jyoti. And this created some disturbance because the simple understanding was the living entities come from Krishna. And then add to that, we were with Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, and add to that, and we fell down. And we became envious of Krishna's lunch or something. You've been eating lunch with Krishna since before eternity, forever, right. Ever. You've eaten a gazillion ladus. You've been there forever. You've been having lunch with Krishna in forever. In fact, that lunch lasts forever. The taste of a ladu lasts forever. And forever is not a long time. It's beyond time. But one day, in the middle of all that, since forever, he became envious. So anyway, I'm making fun of the Phalvadi conception here, but okay, where was in the first? You were saying so they were preaching come from the Brahma Jyoti. You ever hear this verse in Bhagavad Gita? Pratishtoham.
Brahmanohi Pratishtoham.
Brahmanohi Pratishtoham. That verse says, Krishna says, I am the source of the imperishable Brahman, which is the source of all living entities. So, but they were preaching in a way that the window on the side would open up that you could go in towards a Mayavad conception. And Prabhupada just slammed the door shut, or the window shut, and shut them down, and they went back to Hawaii, and we didn't hear any more about that. Similarly, when devotees from his books, by reading the Nectar of Devotion, got ahead of themselves and got the Gopi Bhav club going, Prabhupada shut down the Gopi Bhav, and to this day, Gopi Bhav is like, it's like the devil's, the rose in the devil's lapel or something, it's just something to be like, totally afraid of. Yet the sannyas mantra is a Gopi Bhav mantra, and its center word in most cases is Gopi Bhav. It's a Gopi Bhav mantra. So why was he shutting it down? Because they were way, 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 way ahead of themselves, and they were approaching it in the wrong way. But then when these things are seen and happen by a neophyte, then they, in many cases, unless something comes along to adjust the understanding, that experience is just cemented in their mind, and then forever and forever. Gopi Bhav is a nasty word. Forever and forever. Guru is
a jiva.
Always a jiva. Never God. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada Scripture says, Baladev, Lord Balaram, is Guru Tattva. Lord Nityananda is Guru Tattva. But you will not find anywhere where Srila Prabhupada explains, well, yes, but not in Madhurya Ras. In Madhurya Ras, the Guru of Madhurya Ras is not Balaram, is Radharani. And in Gaur Leela, the Guru of the Madhurya Ras Bhaktas is not Lord Nityananda. It's Gadadhar Pandit. So, but for whatever the reason, time permitting, or I think there was more than just time. I don't want to get into that, but I think there was more than just time. His divine grace did not get around to explaining every single small detail of many of these tattvas and points in Siddhanta to his disciples, or even in his books. In fact, right here is the last part of the Bhagavatam which Srila Prabhupada translated. And it just stops. He doesn't finish the Bhagavatam. It just stops. And don't know if it stopped. When I was looking at this yesterday. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 13th chapter. So I guess this was the last verse. I never checked the whole thing. Verse 64, chapter 13, 10th canto. Well, there's two more full cantos, and there's a whole lot more in this canto. So no one can say, yes, Prabhupada said everything he wanted to say. He gave everything. He didn't finish the Bhagavatam. Here it is, the last volume of the Bhagavatam. It's unfinished. 10th canto isn't even finished. It's just up to the Brahma Vimohana Leela. Lord Brahma capturing the cowherd boys and then, realizing his mistake, etc. That's another topic. The Guru made a mistake.
Right.
The Guru, we covered this in another Krishna, the Guru of our Sampradaya, the Mula Acharya of our Sampradaya, before Madhva, before Vyas, Lord Brahma himself, made a mistake. I think we mentioned this a little bit on
relative and absolute, yeah.
Relative and absolute. Okay, so we're just beating around the bush here. We're getting to the point about conceptions. So what did Prabhupada say about the Maha-mantra? Well, we have several quotes, Giri. I think you were going to read those quotes, right?
Yeah.
So how many quotes there do you have by Srila Prabhupada?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
Okay,
The 6 quotes. They're quite lengthy, so maybe I'll just find the most important quotes in relation to what you're talking about.
Okay, well, let me know and tell me you're ready to read. I'm going to put a picture of Prabhupada on the screen.
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So in the introduction to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada says, Mahavishnu is actually an expansion of Balaram, who is Krishna's first expansion, and, in the Vrindavan pastimes, his brother. In the Maha-mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the word Rama refers to Balaram. Since Lord Nityananda is Balaram, Rama also refers to Lord Nityananda. Thus, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama addresses not only Krishna and Balaram, but Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda as well. So,
now, yeah, that's very, very interesting. And what were you explaining to me the other day about the Ritvik community in Vrindavan? They take
Bangalore, Vrindavan, yeah.
They take it that when you're chanting Hare Krishna, it is who?
Hare Krishna means Krishna, Hari and Krishna, and Hare Rama means Krishna and Balaram.
Well, who do they say the first Hari is?
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna, 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 Krishna. Krishna, Balaram, Krishna, Balaram, 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 Krishna, Krishna. That's basically it.
All right. So, I mean, I have to say right off the beginning, this is quite unique. So what more does Srila Prabhupada say?
In a purport to Adi Leela, chapter 5, text 132, Prabhupada says here, we may mention an incident that took place between two of our sannyasis while we were preaching the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra in Hyderabad. One of them stated that Hare Rama refers to Sri Balaram, and the other protested that Hare Rama means Lord Rama. Ultimately, the controversy came to me, and I gave the decision that if someone says that the Rama in Hare Rama is Lord Ramachandra, and someone else says that the Rama in Hare Rama is Sri Balaram, both are correct, because there is no difference between Sri Balaram and Lord Rama.
All right. So keep reading there. You've got a couple more. Go ahead and keep reading.
Yeah. Here in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find that Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami has stated the same conclusion. Jai Jai Rupa Jane Shaitaha Kahe, Sakala Sambhavi Krishna Kichu Mitto Nohe. If someone calls Lord Ramachandra by the vibration Hare Rama, understanding it to mean O Lord Ramachandra, he's quite right. Similarly, if one says that Hare Rama means O Sri Balaram, he is also right. Those who are aware of the Vishnu Tattva do not fight over all these details.
Right. All right. So I'm going to open this for a little bit of conversation and point out that if it's not just black and white, like it's one thing and that's it, right? Then it's the Hindus, and of course some of the devotees that I've met in Juhu ISKCON temple where they have Sitaram deities consider themselves Ram Bhaktas. And while doing the kirtan, they run back and forth between Radharasa Bihari and Sitaram and Lakshman. As they chant the Maha-mantra, they keep shifting all the time, but I've seen this many times.
Yeah.
Because they think that when the Rama means Ramachandra and the Krishna. And of course, there's a lot of Hindus there, and most of those boys are what we call Vaishnava Hindus also. You'd be surprised how many Hindus are in the Hare Krishna movement and remain Hindus. Anyway, so, okay, and Prabhupada says that's fine. And if someone says that's Lord Balaram, that's fine. And if one says that's Gaur Nitai, that's fine. Right? So what does that mean? Well, it's not just black and white. This isn't the best example, but it's like peeling back the layers of an onion. You see, there are layers. There are what? Let's use the word levels. There, it is not just Krishna. For example, once one senior disciple of Prabhupada was arguing with Sridhara Maharaj. We have this on a recording. He was from Gujarat, and this is back in the 80s, and in 1981 or so, and he was arguing with Sridhara Maharaj. And Sridhara Maharaj said, so what is it that Swami Maharaj has taught you? And he said, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Sridhar Maharaj said, well, that's also debatable. Now, that can be taken from different ways. One is the Madhvas will debate that. The Ramanujas will debate that. He's a personality of Godhead, but he's not the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Right.
And also the Gaudiyas will debate that. Our Sampradaya will debate that.
Mm-hmm.
Rai Ramananda could debate that. And that actually we're only interested. Raghunath Das Goswami, he would debate that.
Mm.
Actually, when all said and done and all the layers are peeled back, what is the root conception of the Gaudiya Sampradaya? And Das Goswami says, we are only interested in Krishna because Radharani is interested in Krishna. If she wasn't interested in Krishna, we wouldn't be interested in Krishna.
Which is why Bhaktisiddhanta called us Shuddha Shaktas.
Yes. I was once talking with a very famous pundit in South India, a big Sanskrit scholar and everything. And at the end of the conversation, he had many of his disciples with this, and in the end he says, oh, now I understand. You are Suddha Shaktas.
Mm-hmm.
Suddha Shaktas. You worship the pure Shakti.
Right.
You are the followers of Srimati Radharani. Another, I've mentioned this sannyas mantra is a Gopi Bab mantra. It's also called the Radha Dasyam mantra. Radha Dasyam meaning the service of Srimati Radharani. So the ultimate, like all the layers are peeled back. If you take our greatest acharyas and their highest achievement in the realm of this world and eternity, it's those who have achieved the service of Srimati Radharani.
Mm.
It's called Radha Dasa. So there are layers. And as in many things, Srila Prabhupada was preaching a grand campaign not to be compared or achieved by anybody else in a known history, unless it be someone like Narada Muni, who can go all over the universe. But he only peeled back, and it's hard for devotees to put these words in their mouth or even put them in their let them enter their ears. But he didn't peel back every layer of the Siddhanta of many things. Of many things. I think devotees have even forgotten that Radha Krishna deities all around the world in the Hare Krishna temples are Lakshmi Narayan according to his own words. Because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that the deities of Radha and Krishna outside are actually Lakshmi Narayan. About Lord Ramachandra in the Juhu temple, Prabhupada said there's Sita, Ram, Lakshman, right?
Mm.
And he said that's Radha, Krishna, and Lord Balaram in disguise. He was not worshiping Lord Ramachandra. Those deities were there because the Gujarati community, particularly the Gujarati community in Bombay, is an A+ Ram Bhakta community.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for preaching. Also, in Delhi, he named the deities Radha Parthasarathi. Parthasarathi means the chariot driver of Arjuna. And some of the more contemporary swamis in the Gaudiya Mutt found fault with that and said that the devotees should actually rename those deities. This particular sannyasi who went to the Western world, I don't tell you his name, but he said that they should rename the deities in Los Angeles because there's no such thing as this Rukmini Dwarkadish. And if you ask the devotees, what are the names of the deities in L.A.? Let's say Rukmini Dwarkadish. So that's fantastic. So that's Radha Krishna, right? And they'll go, yes.
And Krishna's playing a flute. Right.
That's it. Krishna doesn't play a flute in Dwarka. Mm-hmm. That is Radha Krishna with the name Rukmini Dwarkadish. Well, Rukmini in Dwarka Leela is actually Satyabhama.
Chandravali.
Chandravali, the competitor of Radharani. And Radharani in Dwarka Leela takes the second position, and that's Satyabhama. Mm-hmm. But Rukmini gets the first position outside of Vrindavan. But in Vrindavan, Chandravali is a competitor to Radharani, and Radharani dominates the first position always. Right. And it just so happens that Chandravali is also an expansion of Radharani.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when rasa enters in, bhava, starting at the stage of bhava, then some of these things that are done in the preaching world will be a little bit rough on the edges, so to speak. They might create a rub. They won't just flow so easy, you see. But you can't get around the fact that although Srila Prabhupada said everything is in my books, he also says in his books that if you want to know in detail about devotional service and bhakti yoga, you have to study the Sandarbhas.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is in his books, not all the detail that's in the Sandarbha, but the freeway sign saying, take a right turn to the Sandarbhas if you want to go further. Similarly, I should have looked this up. There's a one place, I think it's in Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Srila Prabhupada quotes over a 6 or 8 line Sanskrit verse, and it's there in the Roman transliteration, but he didn't give a translation to it. But he quotes a verse in support of what he's saying, and it's like, if you want to know, get off your lazy butt and learn Sanskrit, or find somebody that does and find out and read the Sandarbhas.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, everything is there. However, your guru bloops. Many devotees have unfortunately had to face that issue. A guru gave up their position in Krishna consciousness, doing drugs, whatever, all kind of nonsense. Okay, where in Srila Prabhupada's books does he say what to do if your guru falls down and starts smoking dope or something? Where is that? It's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can find it because if you follow the instruction of Guru Sadhu Shastra and our Parampara, and then you can refer to Bhaktivinoda Thakura, and he tells you what to do if your guru falls down and leaves devotional service.
Mm-hmm.
Like I recently saw, it was a very sad interview with a Hare Krishna devotee who was born in the movement in 1976. This young lady, she's all grown up now, has a family and children of her own. But for a number of understandable reasons, she had lost complete faith in her guru. These included, some of her friends having been raped by her guru and this and that and all these things in the past. And so she lost her faith, and her conclusion was, well, I have Prabhupada. I felt so sorry for this girl. It's like, yes, to a certain extent, but certain extent. It's like, if you had Prabhupada now, what did you need a guru for even before?
Right.
So she's actually, I sympathize, but she's left in the position of a Ritvik.
Mm-hmm.
But Bhaktivinoda says, well, that's not the way it's supposed to go. Sometimes bad things happen, and we have to deal with that. And he says what you should do. And that's not the extent of it. That, I have Prabhupada. What do you mean you have Prabhupada? You have some tapes, you have some books? What do you mean? I can ask questions all day long from Prabhupada's books to the Ritviks and similar people who think like that. And I can go to sleep and leave them for a week and they won't come up with the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, what to speak of? All right, so Srila Prabhupada said and referred to Rama to the devotees as Balaram. And some people say this also is indicative and related to Srila Prabhupada's personal rasa and Leela with Krishna. That's another topic. So all these things are right. The Hindu says it's wrong. It's wrong. And it's also right whether you chant Ramachandra first, Hare Rama first, or Hare Krishna first, because it's just going in a circle. But there's reasons why in India some people chant Hare Rama first, because in our time cycle on earth, Ram appeared before Krishna. And
in linear time. Yeah.
Linear time like that. So ultimately, that also doesn't matter. At a very fundamental level, it doesn't matter. However, now read us what Prabhupada says about Hare. He said what Krishna is. He said what Rama is. Now what does he say about Hare?
Okay, so this is from a little tract that was printed in 1970 by the devotees, and it's called On Chanting the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra. So Srila Prabhupada says, the word Hara is the form of addressing the energy of the Lord. And the words Krishna and Rama are forms of addressing the Lord himself. Both Krishna and Rama mean the supreme pleasure, and Hara is the supreme pleasure energy of the Lord, changed to Hare in the vocative. The supreme pleasure energy of the Lord helps us to reach the Lord. The material energy called Maya is also one of the multi-energies of the Lord, and we, the living entities, are also the energy, marginal energy of the Lord. The living entities are described as superior to material energy. When the superior energy is in contact with the inferior energy, an incompatible situation arises. But when the superior marginal energy is in contact with the superior energy, Hara, it is established in its happy normal condition. These three words, namely Hare, Krishna and Rama, are the transcendental seeds of the Maha-mantra. The chanting is a spiritual call for the Lord and his energy to give protection to the conditioned soul. This chanting is exactly like the genuine cry of a child for its mother's presence. Mother Hara helps the devotee achieve the Lord Father's grace, and the Lord reveals himself to the devotee who chants this mantra sincerely.
So now who does Srila Prabhupada say Mother Hara is?
Well, basically he's saying it's Srimati Radharani.
That's right.
It's the energy of the Lord.
The Hladini Shakti.
Right.
Now, the Hladini Shakti has expansions also. Sita is an expansion of Radharani. Lakshmis are an expansion. Even Chandravali is an expansion, a competitor expansion. So, so then, when you are chanting Hare Krishna, then that Hare means Radharani. So if you're chanting Hare Rama and you're taking Rama to mean Balaram, then that Hare can no longer be Radharani.
Right.
Who is it?
As Rasabas.
Well,
yeah.
Rasabas, that's beyond Rasabas. You lose your head over there.
Right.
So who is that? Who is that? I'm asking you.
Oh, that Hare?
Yeah.
In Hare Rama?
Yeah.
Then the Hare in Hare Rama must be, well, we would say it was Radharani. Revati Rama, yeah.
Right. So now you're chanting Revati Ram. First you're chanting Radha Krishna. Now you're chanting Revati Ram. And if you take it that that's Nityananda Ram, then
it's Janavi.
Then you're chanting Janavi Ram.
Yeah.
You see. So these are the first layers which are exposed to the public in regards to the Maha-mantra. I'll give you an example. This Friday, at a center here in Guanajuato, Mexico, there's posters all around town. There's an introductory class to Bhakti Yoga and mantra meditation, japa mantra meditation, given by yours truly. So a bunch of people are going to come in there. A few of them are going to be vegetarians. A lot of them are not. Some of them are going to be, into the yoga scene. Some of them not. It's going to be a real mixed bag. And so I'm just going to present the onion. This one lady in a previous class like that to the public said, what is the meaning of that mantra? And I was remembering that Prabhupada, someone asked him, what is the meaning of the name Krishna? And Prabhupada said, don't you know proper nouns don't have definitions? In English, there's no meaning to the word John, Jack, Jill, etc. So he was just, he said to the man, don't you know proper nouns, names don't have definitions, you see. But in Sanskrit, of course, they will have meaning or definition. So I told the lady, don't think that's not important right now. This is a vehicle, I said. This is a vehicle, a transcendental sound emanating from the spiritual world, coming down to raise your consciousness. So I said, for now, you just think of this as a vehicle. Now, that lady may never show up again. I don't know, you see. But certainly, if somebody comes to me and says, Maharaj, do you have any articles that I could read or anything about the holy name? I wouldn't turn and say, well, you just think of it as a vehicle, You just chant, listen to the chanting, leave it at that for now. It's like, I've been doing that for 20 years. Can you, share a little enlightenment with him? Then I can turn him to Bhaktivinoda's books, Bhajan Rahasya. I can refer him to Jiva Goswami's Maha-mantra,
Mantrata Deepika, yeah.
Deepika. So many quotes and statements by Srila Maharaj, which they just go right past those first few layers where the Maha-mantra has anything to do with Vishnu avatars at all and has anything to do with any other Shakti other than Srimati Radharani. In other words, Maha-mantra, when all the layers of understanding are peeled back and you get to the quintessential understanding of the Maha-mantra in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, it is exclusively a Radha Krishna mantra. It is exclusively a Madhurya Ras mantra. So, you were saying, you were explaining to one of these young Ritviks in South India once that Hare Rama referred to Radha Raman.
Yeah.
Not to Balaram, not to Krishna Balaram particularly.
Right. Not to Revati Balaram either.
Well, they're not even considering that. They were considering that the Hari means like in Krishna is also Hari,
right?
Or I, and so they're chanting, Krishna Balaram. It's like you're not chanting Krishna Balaram.
Yeah.
So then, when somebody say, "What does it matter?" I say, "Well, what does it matter? It matters everything." Because this isn't just some machine-like repetition of chanting. If your chanting goes to your conception, and guess what? If you don't have the right conception, even about that, well, you can end up. Well, I'll tell you what, you're not going to end up where Prabhupada is. Someone said to us, "Oh, that's not important. We just chant." I said, "Well, then at the end of life, you're not going to where Prabhupada is." And they were shocked. What do you mean? No, it's just not like conception.
Srila Sridhara said that the inner conception of the mantra is responsible for our spiritual attainment, he said.
Right.
The inner conception of the mantra.
Oh, that was these devotees in South India. They were saying to me, I said, well, they were saying something about Vaikuntha.
The Sayadri Mountains.
And they said the Sayadri Mountains, can give you fulfill all desires. And I was thinking, well, maybe Govardhan Hill could, but I've been looking. I said, well, these villagers have been looking at these mountains for hundreds of years, and they're still eating chicken. So, what the hell are you talking about? Sayadri Mountains. He said, well, the such and such Purana says that Lord Vishnu makes his abode in the top of the Sayadri Mountains. I said, well, we're not really interested in Lord Vishnu's abode. We're not Vaikuntha Bhaktas. And they said, whoa, Maharaj. I said, Vaikuntha is a fall down for a Gaudiya. And they said, well, maybe it's a fall down for you, but, we'd be happy to achieve Vaikuntha. And I said, well, what happened to your Prabhupada? Now, he's not in Vaikuntha. He's a Goloka Bhakta. So how can you settle for Vaikuntha when your own guru is in Goloka? What are you, liberationist? Or are you just confused Hare Krishnas? And I later found out one of them was smoking marijuana and the other one was a Ritvik. And it was,
so they were confused Hare Krishnas after all.
They were confused Hare Krishnas, with all due respect to both of those devotees. I mean, one day I was talking with a godbrother named Pragosh, and he goes, well, I think I accept Sridhar Maharaj was a nice devotee. And I said, Pragosh, you're a nice devotee. I mean, somebody might mistakenly say, I'm a nice devotee. I said, Sridhar Maharaj is way beyond being a nice devotee. So anyway, so there are different levels of understanding. And it isn't that any level you choose is all going to be fine and dandy. And so I think in many cases there are devotees, they are just unaware that there's any layer of the Maha-mantra beyond what Srila Prabhupada had expressed. Balaram, Ramachandra, Nityananda. In this way, he's almost describing the Vishnu avatar aspect. It's just the preliminary layer. So I think we have some things here. What was from Bhaktivinoda? You were going to read Bhaktivinoda, and then Srila Sridhar Maharaj, some nice quotes in regard.
There was just one more quote from Srila Prabhupada that he spoke on Radhashtami in 74. And he makes it very clear about what Hare Krishna and Hare Rama means here. So he says, today is Radhashtami. So pray to Radharani. She is Hare, Hara. This Hare, this word is Radharani. And then he goes on to say, again addressing, O Krishna, O Radharani, Hare Rama. The same thing again. Hare Rama. Rama is also Krishna. Rama is Rama. Rama is Balaram. They are all Krishna.
Yeah. Again, then he's laying some layers there. Rama is Krishna, Rama is Balaram, Rama is Nityananda. But when you put the Hare with it, then you have to change the conception accordingly.
Yeah.
Hare is Sita, the Hare is Radharani, the Hare is Vishnu Priya. Who is that?
Right.
So these things happen in the course of preaching, in the course of spreading to the neophytes or to the non-devotees and engaging people into Krishna consciousness. If you are just all about the details in the beginning, well, probably you make it too difficult for people to accept. It's too much for people to wrap their heads around. So, I mean, in Africa, we didn't get into any of this, Ufahama wa Krishna. That's it. Krishna Nanasi Munga Maku, Bwana. And Brahmananda said, here's preaching in West Africa. And he showed me a picture of a finger with a lump of khichdi on it and a bunch of ants swarming all over the khichdi. He said, Maharaj, that's preaching in West Africa. He said, you thought it was tough in East Africa, out in the villages, preaching to Africans, They don't even have a word in many of these languages in Africa for consciousness. There's no word for humility. There's no word for any of the finer sentiments that accompany a human being. They're basic cultures of eat, sleep, mate, and defend, and a very rudimentary, You don't hear much about African catapults. The bow and arrow was as far as, and the spears as far as they went. Anyway.
Yep.
I have a lot of great friends in Africa too. So, different layers. So let's move on now, and let's go below those first few layers, and let's look and hear what Bhaktivinoda has to say in regards to. I mean, he had so much to say. And then, do you have Jiva Goswamis?
I do. I have Jiva Goswamis.
A little bit of that. Maybe a little bit of, Bhaktivinoda first, a few quotes.
There was a quote from Bhakti Siddhanta also I was going to read just before Bhaktivinoda. Okay. I thought it was important as a
Let me put that up on the screen here. Where is that? Who's that? Is that this one? Nope. Sorry. What happened? Oh, I didn't get a photo of Bhakti Siddhanta. Okay, go ahead and just read us that quote.
It's a short one. He says, the Maha-mantra was present before the Shastras appeared. The Bhagavatam's Chaturshloki verse, beginning with Ahameva Sameva Agre, offers proof of this. The supremely independent holy name is not under the Shastra's control. In fact, the Shastras have manifest by the holy name's supreme will. It is not a fact that the Shastras come first and the holy name followed. The Brahma Samhita states that the holy name appeared first in Brahma's heart.
Yes. Golokera Premadhan Harinam Sankirtanam. The holy name descends from the spiritual world. It precedes the Vedas.
Right.
It appeared in the heart of Brahma. But here's something, a little interesting point. We have our important literature in the Hare Krishna movement. We have our Mula literature, which in Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are, principally the main books that our Guru Maharaj presented in presenting the Bhakti Yoga movement, the Hare Krishna movement in the West. However, the Chaitanya Charitamrita doesn't mention the Maha-mantra at all. You can read through every single verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Maha-mantra isn't there. And then the question is, well, then why is it the most important? And where is the mantra? Well, the mantra is found in the Chaitanya Bhagavad. Well, why isn't that the most important if that's where the Maha-mantra is found? And the answer is because it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita where the proper conception is found. Right. And really, there's so many doors open towards Sahajiism, actually, in the Chaitanya Bhagavad. Because it's just sweet, sweet, maduram, 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 sweet, sweet, sweet. But too much sweets, be careful.
Diabetes.
Not good for your health. Chaitanya Charitamrita is all about the conception. Mahaprabhu's conception. There are 5 quintessential conversations in that book, which are the essence of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But the mantra itself, that to chant the names of Krishna and Sankirtan and all these things are mentioned, but the mantra itself, the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra, is not there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And furthermore, the oldest physical reference is, I believe, from 1730 or the year
1740 something, I think it is.
1740 edition of the Kali, which Upanishad? Kalishantarana Upanishad, right?
Kalishantarana, yeah.
Do you have that verse there?
I do, yeah. I'll just read the English rather than the Sanskrit.
Right.
At the end of Dwapara Yuga, Narada, who had traversed the whole world, went to Brahma and addressed him thus: O Lord, how shall I be able to ward off the effects of Kali? Brahma thus replied: You have asked an excellent question. Listen to that secret which all the Vedas keep hidden, through which one may cross over material existence during the age of Kali. One becomes free from the influence of Kali by merely uttering the names of Lord Narayan, who is the original Supreme Person. Thus again Narada asked Brahma, what are those names? Lord Brahma replied, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These 16 holy names will destroy the sinful influences of the age of Kali. I do not see any other method.
That's right. And Lord Brahma, at this particular moment, doesn't really know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to come. He's speaking about the Maha-mantra on one of those first layers, so to speak. The names of Narayan. But when Mahaprabhu comes, then the conception of Mahaprabhu comes with the Maha-mantra. And that takes us to the deepest core of Goloka, into the heart of Madhurya Rasa. And that takes us ultimately to the service of Srimati Radharani as the highest attainable achievement in existence, anywhere. But if Mahaprabhu had not descended as a combined form of Radha Krishna, then the Maha-mantra would just take people to Vaikuntha. So when we say Balaram also, without Mahaprabhu's conception, then you're going to get into the realm of what they call the Kesha-avatar, where a white and a black hair was plucked from the chest of Lord Narayan and through to the world, and that appeared as Krishna and Balaram. But that's not the Krishna Balaram of Goloka Vrindavan. There's a mystery here. There's a mystery. In every other Kali Yuga, the Kali Yuga avatar is Narayan. Even if it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's not Mahaprabhu. Actually, it's Sri Chaitanya, Gaur Narayan, Gaur Narayan. But in this particular Yuga, in this particular Kali Yuga, at this moment, then the combined form of Radha and Krishna appears, and that's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu meaning Rasaraj Mahabhav, Krishna and Radha combined. So, along with the holy name, the mantra for Kali Yuga, which prior, when Lord Brahma is speaking this, it's a Narayan mantra fully.
Right.
And that Hari, is referring to as in Hari, Hari, as in Narayan. But when Mahaprabhu descends with that mantra, he brings with it his conception, or their conception of divinity from the highest realm of rasa. And that is what is at the inner core of the Maha-mantra. And that is Madhurya Ras and the service of Sri Radha and all such divine things associated and related. But really, you can't just go to the public with this. Is a big mistake. As if we quoted Srila Puri Maharaj the other day. He said, well, what they are speaking is true. Yes, but the fact that they are speaking these most high and exalted topics to the neophyte audiences, even audiences of non-devotees and the neophyte devotees, this is the problem. This is and the problem isn't just, well, they're too young to understand, but they stick with it to understand. No, offense will be made in that state of too young to understand. And they won't even understand they're making the mistake. And like I've said many times, once you cross the line, you get what's called inspiration to live in the fool's paradise. First, the caution is there. Don't go there. This is not, no. You cross that, and you don't get struck down by a bolt of lightning, and your sika burned off. You feel, wow, this is really great stuff.
It's nectar.
It's nectar, Prabhu. And you continue down that slippery slope to hell.
Yeah.
It's called inspiration to live in a fool's paradise. It's not like, it says dead end road ahead, and you go there in this world, and you go, yep, it's a dead end road, got to go back, and you turn around and you go back. But when you cross these spiritual warnings that say dead end, don't go there, and you ignore that, you don't find the dead end. You find the yellow brick road that just takes you to this self-created heaven of delusion and self-deception.
Srila Sridhara says there's a sign on the gate. It says "Welcome, no entry."
Welcome, no entry. Right. Welcome. You think you're going there, but no, you won't enter. Okay. So, all right. So. Okay, so now let's do some of those nice quotes about the inner layers of the holy name. So please.
So Bhaktivinoda Thakura, in Bhajan Rahasya, he mentions the names Radha Krishna are Sachidananda, full of eternity, knowledge and bliss. Radha and Krishna are personally present in Hare Krishna. The eternal master of Sri Radha, who is bliss personified, is Shyam, who has eyes like lotus petals, and who desires that Sri Radhika always be happy. Nandanandana Sri Krishna, the giver of bliss to the residents of Gokula, is always yearning to taste happiness with Sri Radha. Krishna is Lileshvara, a clever Dhira Lalita Nayaka. Therefore his name is Radha Ramana. The Hare Krishna Maha-mantra is comprised of names of the divine couple. While chanting this mantra, one should remember their pastimes. Then, a little later on in the Bhajan Rahasya, Bhaktivinoda Thakura gives an explanation to the Maha-mantra, the pairs of the names Hare Krishna, like this. He says, the first pair of names, Hare Krishna, signifies the subduer of ignorance and the performance of Nam Sankirtana with faith. The second pair, Hare Krishna, means Krishna's names are invested with all potencies. One should have attachment for bhajan by taking shelter of the holy names in the association of sadhus, and gradually by performing bhajan, anarthas are destroyed. As anarthas are destroyed, nishta, firm faith, develops. The third pair, Krishna Krishna, indicates the company of pure devotees and becoming fixed in the firm faith throughout the day and night. By the fourth pair, Hare Hare, unmotivated devotion is awakened along with the taste for Nam Sankirtana. The fifth pair, Hare Rama, represents the taste for pure service along with the remembrance of the holy names as described in the Shikshashtaka. In the sixth pair, Hare Rama, chanting in the beginning stage of transcendental emotion leads to material detachment and complete attachment to Krishna. The seventh pair, Rama Rama, awakens attachment for the mellow of conjugal rasa, the shelter of Radha's lotus feet, and feelings of separation. And the eighth pair, Hare Hare, leads to attainment of the goal of life, loving service to Radha and Krishna, following in the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan throughout the 8 divisions of day and night.
That's the last Hare Hare.
Yeah.
That ultimate goal of life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did the first pair, the first Hare?
The first pair of names signifies the subduer of ignorance and the performance of Nam Sankirtana with faith.
So, in the beginning of spiritual life, it is important to subdue ignorance.
Mm.
Hang on a second. I'm trying to find something. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Put my glasses back. Just bear with, please.
Mm.
There it is. All right. Anyway, I was just going to mention, I asked this question sometimes. What is the first and last? There's an expression. What is the first and last word of something? You know, it means what's the ultimate? Give us a bottom line. What's the first and last word? So sometimes I'll ask the question, what's the first and last word of the absolute truth? And they'll just say Krishna. And I'll say, no, it's Hare.
Right.
It's Radharani in the beginning and it's Radharani in the end. And it's emphasized in the end. Hare, Hare.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's explaining there. He says Rama, 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 and refers that also to the Madhurya Ras.
Right.
All right, so what other quotes do we have that we wanted to read?
We have J.V. Goswami's explanation as well, which is also very, very sweet, very nice.
Jiva Goswami.
Yeah. Again, I won't read the Sanskrit because it will take too long.
All right.
So this is from Jiva Goswami's Maha-mantra Deepika. So the first name, Hare, says, Krishna steals the minds of everyone, yet Radha steals even his mind by her divine expertise. Thus she is known as Hara. Then Krishna. He forcibly attracts Sri Radha with his sweet sound of the flute. Therefore, that Lord of all enchanting qualities is known as Krishna. Hare. It has been heard that during the Ras Leela, doe-eyed Radha was stolen away by Krishna to be alone with him in a secret forest bower. She is therefore known as Hara. Krishna. When Krishna sports with Radha, her golden hue takes on the dark complexion of Krishna's skin. He is thus known as Krishna. Then Krishna. In order to please Sri Radha, Krishna manifested the most wonderful lake, Shamakund in Vrindavan. He then called all the holy rivers to fill it. He is thus known as Krishna. Then Krishna. By her unsurpassed love, Radha charms he who performs wonderful leelas on the banks of the Yamuna. Therefore, those who are sober know him as Krishna. Then Hare. While in Gokula, Sri Hari killed the demon known as Arishtasura. During this time, Radha cried out to him with great feeling, and by doing so, she stole his mind. She is thus known as Hara. And then Hare. Filled with ecstatic love, Radha sometimes sings the glories of Hari's exploits quietly, and sometimes she sings them aloud. Those who are expert in the secrets of divine sentiments call her Hara. Then Hare. Due to the intense love of Sri Radha, Sri Hari becomes so captivated that his flute falls from his hand. With the desire to enjoy in the forest bowers of Krishna, Radha steals his flute. That goddess is thus famous as Hara. Then Rama. Krishna, who is expert at embracing, sports with Radha in the forest groves or in the caves of Govardhan. Thus he is known as Rama. Then Hare. The most merciful Radha destroys the miseries of her devotees and gives them great happiness every day. Therefore that goddess is known as Hara. Then Rama. The minds of the devotees are continuously drowned in an ocean of supreme joy by seeing the beautiful dark form of Krishna. Therefore he is known by the name Rama. Then Rama. Radharani is known as Rama because she enjoys loving pastimes with Achyuta, Krishna, in a secret forest pavilion. Since he is always by her side, he is known as Rama. Then Rama. When the residents of Gokula were crying due to fear of the forest fire, Krishna immediately swallowed it and gave his devotees great joy. In this way he is known as Rama. Then Hare. Sri Krishna went to Mathurapuri in order to destroy the demons. However, due to being captivated by the love of Radha, he later returned. Therefore she is known as Hara. Then Hare. When the son of Maharaja Nanda returned to Vraja, he took away the suffering of all the Vrajvasis. By his wonderful exploits, he steals the heart of Sri Radha. Thus, he is known as Hari.
Oh, he is known as Hari.
Yeah.
All right, so Jiva Goswami is our Tattva Acharya.
Mm.
So, as they say, there you have it. That is the quintessential understanding, word by word, from Jiva Goswami, and the same was basically the same mood was represented by Bhaktivinoda Thakura.
Mm.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes, but with now some quotes from Srila Sridhara Maharaj, I believe.
Yeah, let me just find that. He was talking about in particular, Sridhara Maharaj was talking about the arrangement of the syllables within the Maha-mantra. He says, the real importance of the name is not to be found merely in the arrangement of its syllables, but the deep meaning within that divine sound. Some scholars argue that in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, Lord Brahma says that the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra is properly pronounced only when the name of Rama precedes the name of Krishna. And that's when it says, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. In the Kali Santarana Upanishad, the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra is given in that way. But to say that the name of Rama must precede the name of Krishna in the mantra is a superficial understanding. It is said that because it comes from the Upanishads, the Hare Krishna mantra is a Vedic mantra, and therefore, because the ordinary people may not have any entrance into Vedic mantras, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu readjusted this mantra by reversing the order of the words. In that way, it is said, the concern that it is a Vedic mantra is thereby cancelled, and so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it to all without breaching the injunctions of the Vedas. Some devotees in Uttar Pradesh who have great affection for Sri Chaitanya Dev like to give this opinion. But our faith is that the mentioning of Hare Rama first is only superficial. It concerns the idea that since the Rama avatar appeared first and the Krishna avatar afterwards, the name of Rama, Hare Rama, should come first in the Maha-mantra. A deeper reading will consider that when two similar things are connected together, the priority will be ordered not on the basis of historical precedent, but in consideration of the most highly developed conception. The holy name of Krishna is higher than the holy name of Rama. That is mentioned in the Puranas. 3 names of Rama equal 1 name of Krishna. The name of Krishna is superior to the name of Rama. When the two are connected together, the first position should be given to the one that is superior. Therefore, the name of Krishna must come first in the Maha-mantra. This is one point. Another point is that within the eternal plane, everything is moving in a cyclic order. In an eternal cycle, which is first and which is next, cannot be ascertained. And so, in the eternal plane of Leela, it cannot be determined whether Krishna is before Rama or Rama is before Krishna. So from that consideration also, since the names of Krishna and Rama are eternal and unrelated to any historical event, we may begin the mantra from any place. But above these considerations, our Sampradaya has given another, higher consideration. A deeper understanding will reveal that the Hare Krishna mantra is not at all concerned with Ram Leela. In the name of Rama within the Hare Krishna mantra, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas will find Radha Ramana Rama. That means Krishna who gives pleasure, Raman, to Srimati Radharani. In our conception, the Hare Krishna mantra is wholesale Krishna consciousness, not Rama consciousness. Sri Chaitanya's highest conception of things is always Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Leela, Radha Govinda Leela. That is the real purpose of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent and teachings. In that consideration, the Hare Krishna mantra does not mention the Ram Leela of Ayodhya at all. There is no connection with that in the highest conception of the Hare Krishna mantra. And the inner conception of the mantra is responsible for our spiritual attainment. When one pronounces the name of Rama, if he means Dasarati Rama, his attraction will take him there, to Ayodhya. If he means Parashurama, he'll be attracted to another place. And if Rama means Radha Ramana Rama, he will go to Goloka. The inner conception of the devotee will guide him to his destination.
Wow. Okay, I think that makes it all pretty clear.
Yeah.
Giri, do you have that other quote that our friends on the other side of the aisle, that's the way they say it these days,
Yeah.
from the Madhva Sampradaya, what we found on their website recently?
Yeah. It wasn't so recent, but it's still up there on their website. Let me just...
we found it some time ago, but it's still on the website.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me just find that.
You ought to read that quote. I think the devotees will get a kick out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what they said. It's a contemporary Madhva website. They said, and it is not known that the Hare Krishna mantra is recited without proper procedure, without dhyana, sankalpa, etc., in the approved Vedic fashion. It has been arbitrarily picked out of a book and practiced in mutilated form, and is thus a false initiation, as the originators of the tradition were themselves unqualified to recite the mantra. Worst of all, it is recited as Krishna himself, and not as a symbol or tool for his worship. As such, it stands to reason that the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra is best avoided by everybody.
Oh, you got to hand it to them. You know, they don't give up easy. You know, if they can get on the right side of the fence, wow. You know, but yeah, there you have it. But yet, so many devotees that go to India, and I've been there many times. In fact, I live just a few miles in South India from a few kilometers from Udupi, and have been there many times. But if you want to get into a scrap with another Vaishnava, just start saying a couple of things, and they'll be all over you. You know, They are very aggressive, very anti-Hare Krishna. Actually, they're anti-ISKCON, they're anti-Prabhupada. But sometimes in the public, you know, they put on a good face and
they're generally anti-everything, actually. Yeah,
they're anti-everything. You know, if a Hare Krishna devotee is taken and invited to the house of a Madhva to take prasadam, it's very, very rare that will happen. But when that's all over, they won't even wash your dishes inside their house. They take them outside and wash them where they wash the dog bowl.
Yeah.
Or where they feed their chickens or whatever. And yeah, they have they have no real respect. And they consider Srila Prabhupada to have been a really good Hindu. You know, he was a good Hindu. You know,
a Paka Hindu. Yeah.
And you know, I think some you know that very well. Some of the leaders of the modern Hare Krishna movement in ISKCON have adopted very much the same mentality as the Madhvas. In this way, the Madhvas say that yes, it's very good that you're doing all these things. Harinam, you're doing this, that, you know, and then but next life, you'll have to be born in the Udupi district
Mm.
to go back
As a Brahmin.
as a Brahmin in order to go to Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
And similarly, you were told once, oh yes, those people in the Sringa Maharaj, they're okay, they're nice devotees, but they in the next life they'll have to be born in ISKCON. And I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
save us, save us from
Yeah.
that fate. Yeah, so the same kind of casteism mentality. Madhva's heavy casteism, casteism. And I think we have a number of people from Madhva Sampradaya, both men and women, young people, not children. I'm talking about, people in their early 30s and late 20s and whatnot who have quite a few who have come to the camp of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they've all confirmed to us the arrogance and the false pride of the Madhvas. But unfortunately, recently, some very bad things happened. I'll just share this little bit of news. Where is that? Everything. Okay. Yeah. Very bad. If you will see this murder in what you call it, in Udupi, there are 8 principal mutts called the Ashtamat. And recently, the Acharya of one of the mutts, what's that?
Shiro Mutt. Shiro, yeah.
There's a picture of him here on the screen right now. He was murdered. And there's a big case investigation going on. And it's coming out that a number of these swamis running the Ashtamat in Udupi, there's a significant number of them, a lot of fingers being pointed around, who have illegitimate children, although they are lifetime sannyasins, supposed to be lifetime sannyasins. There are a number of them who have fathered illegitimate children, and it's a huge scandal going on in Karnataka now. It's all over the newspaper, so it's not like we're showing something nobody knows about. This happened. This man, whose picture is here, was murdered. And years ago, when Giri, when we had that conflict with the Madhvas, and we were defending Gaudiya Vaiṣṇava, we were defending Prabhupada, we were defending the position of ISKCON as bona fide. This particular Swami was one of the more understanding,
favorable ones. Yeah,
favorable. He was actually favorable.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, now he has been poisoned and he died. This happened just a few days.
A few weeks ago.
It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So, I have many times, I say the Madhvas are atheists. Somebody goes, what? They're Vaishnavas. I go, well, yeah, they're Vaishnava tradition, but within it, they have their atheism. They're like, what do you mean? I said, they reject Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They, at best, will say, well, he was a good Hindu saint from Bengal. Or I've heard them say, well, yeah, Chaitanya's followers, they're the heretics of the Madhva Sampradaya.
And no Radharani.
No Radharani.
Yeah.
Gopis are Gandharva prostitutes from Gandharva
Apsaras.
Loka, Apsaras, all these things. No Radharani. Of course, they have a good evidence there. Radharani's name does not appear in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ha-ha, we got you. And in fact, directly speaking, her name does not appear. So if you just take things on, a lot of things, even Srimad Bhagavatam, even Shastra, okay, this is an important point. You just take these things on face value, then there is no Radharani. Where do you guys get off with all this stuff about Radha? Where do you get this? You don't get this from Srimad Bhagavatam because her name is not there. Correct. If your qualification of reading is simply grammar and surface level, first layer, even second layer, peeling of the onion, it's not there. But from the higher devotees with far more qualification than just observing the surface layer, yes, Radharani is mentioned several places with great significance in the course of 10th Canto as the most exalted.
Right.
devotee, but her name is not directly mentioned, and there's some reasons for this. Maybe we'll make that a topic. Why Radharani's name is not directly mentioned. So here again, you have to come to our sampradaya comes to a deeper level than just the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And even Srimad Bhagavatam, although giving us that deeper level, it's not just laying there at face value. Just read it and there it is. No, read it and there it's not.
Right.
You have to be able to enter there. So here's the key. How to enter there. Scholarship and repeated study is not the way to enter there. It's like beating your head against a concrete wall. You just get brain damage.
Yeah.
It is not your endeavor. You are given access. It is descending.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, all your study, everything has done its best. Now you wait to be accepted. You wait to be invited. And the qualifications for that far exceed just following four regular principles and chanting 16 rounds a day and dutifully raising a family, or dutifully just following the sannyas order of life and not playing ping pong or whatever. No, it goes way, way beyond that. It goes to a completely internal plane of surrender. Staranagati and Shraddha. Surrender and faith. These are the two master keys. And these have to be developed to the nth degree, to the fullest extent, before one is then seen qualified to enter that realm. So personally, I could probably read the Bhagavatam forever, and if that hadn't been pointed out to me by Srila Sridhara Maharaj and our previous acharyas, where Radharani is mentioned, I wouldn't even know. In fact, if I wasn't told about Radharani first, I wouldn't even know what to look for, would I? There's even places, you have to recognize this in Srila Prabhupada's preaching. You read the verse, it's about Prahlad, and Krishna, saves Prahlad. And the artist draws the painting, Prahlad's thrown off the cliff, and Krishna's catching him, and the painting's there in the Bhagavatam.
Mm-hmm.
Prahlad didn't know anything about Krishna. He was a Vishnu, he was an Narayan Bhakta. Mm-hmm. And he was caught by Varahadev, not by Krishna.
Yeah.
But Prabhupada is preaching Krishna consciousness, and instead of waiting to get all the way through the 10th canto, and he never did, to present everything in that step-by-step method, he jumps ahead and gives us some of the quintessential. Radha's mentioned throughout the Krishna book rendition of the 10th canto, which came out way back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Radharani is there. In Bhagavatam, Krishna is catching... he's catching Prahlad Maharaj. But actually, I think it was Prahlad. Prahlad actually, is it Prahlad? Later, when he grew up, he fought in a war against. Was that Prahlad?
Yes.
Or Dhruva?
Yeah, he was fighting with Indra, and then Vamana had to. There's that picture of him tied up by the ropes of Varuna. Prahlad was tied up. He was fighting against the demigods.
Right, he got on the wrong side of justice for a while. and what we say about
Suric tendency count.
We say, what the Gaudiyas say when the heat of battle's on in the preaching, what we say about the Madhvas. Well, I say they're atheists, but prior to now, people like Keshav Maharaj and others, Keshav Maharaj meaning Prabhupada's sannyasa guru, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, he would say things like, what Madhva knows about Goloka, Vrindavan Leela? He's an incarnation of Bhima and Vayu. And Bhima's just pissed off all the time, smashing...
Just cracking skulls.
Skulls and decimating armies. It's like, Bhima doesn't have any access to Braja Leela. And guess what? Neither did Madhva. Mm-hmm. No. Madhva's Krishna is a Vaikuntha Krishna, not a Goloka Krishna. And,
right.
and even today it's even worse, I think. It's a caste Krishna.
Mm.
In that way, the Ramanujas are so much more pleasant to discuss with, and so much more actually kind of not revolutionary, but evolutionary. There are a couple of Jirs and Swamis that we've met and talked to and from the Ramanuja Sampradaya that are much more, you would say, leaning towards
devotion,
towards real devotion
mm-hmm.
than the Madhvas.
Mm-hmm. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakura was so impressed with some of the works of the Sri Vaishnavas like Yamunacharya, Pillai Lokacharya. Some of his songs are based on some of their verses, and he even translated their works into Bengali for the first time.
Yes, and an interesting thing about Ramanujacharya, one of his greatest works is a work called Saranagati.
Yeah, Sharanagati Gadya is called, yeah.
Saranagati Gadya. It's a treatise on surrender, Saranagati, and surrender is the quintessential doctrine that and Shraddha and Saranagati, is the quintessential doctrine of the Gaudiyas, which take the Gaudiyas to their highest achievement, highest conception. And the interesting thing is, he wrote that on the Palguni Purnima, which is hundreds and hundreds of centuries later, is the appearance date of Mahaprabhu.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fact that on one level, we have much more in common with the Ramanujas, much more in common with the Ramanujas than we do with the Madhvas. So the question will arise, well, why did Mahaprabhu take his initiation in the Madhva line, which comes from Madhavinda Puri? So that's a whole other topic, and we've run out of time. So, it was great to hear all those quotes about the Maha-mantra, and make no mistake about it. The Maha-mantra of our deepest interest is the Maha-mantra chanted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is a mantra which is filled with his conception. And his conception is that conception of Srimati Radharani and of Radha and Krishna, as we saw in the descriptions of the word for word. So this the Madhurya Ras is sometimes called the Mukhya Ras, the head Ras, and actually all other Rasas emanate from that, in the same way that all service to Krishna emanates from the master of all service, Bhakti Devi, which is Srimati Radharani. So, yes, there are other rasas among the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu other than just Madhurya Ras or Manjari Bhav. There's also Sakya Ras. Lord Nityananda is a Sakya Ras Bhakta, and his followers were there in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 12, what they call the Dwadasa Gopals, the 12 Gopals, and all these things. So all those rasas are there, and they're included, but the fundamental ras, which should be the focus of all devotees, is called Dasya Ras. Mahaprabhu said, Jiva Swarapoi Nitya Krishna Das. When he was asked, what is the identity of the living entity? He said, eternal servant of Krishna. This is the basis of all Ras. If there's no Dasya, there's no Madhurya. And this is a mistake that people have made, thinking that they aspire to be a gopi and enjoy with Krishna. Oh, this is a big mistake. There is no such thing. The gopis themselves do not desire to be with Krishna and enjoy Krishna. They are only with Krishna if Radharani desires them to be with Krishna, to satisfy Krishna, to serve Krishna. Their activities are all in the mood of service, self-sacrifice. They're not in it for themselves. They're in it to please the Lord and the Lord's dearmost, which is Srimati Radharani. But we've seen in Vrindavan, in the case of Indra and other people, they got way off the mark of what Gopi Ras is all about, and they have fed that out to their followers, and the misconception is kind of like a snowball. It'd be okay if one misconception gets out the door and that's it, but that's not the way misconception is. It's like a snowball going downhill, and we look back at the time of Indra, and he had a number of significant misconceptions, and all of them have metastasized since his unfortunate passing away.
One of those misconceptions included the Maha-mantra.
Yeah, I know.
As Gaur-Gadadha and Gaur-Nitai.
Yeah. We didn't find anywhere that by anybody that you could, at any layer of the onion, so to speak, peeling back layers of conception where the Maha-mantra meant Gaur-Gadadha.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just like there is so much divine and exalted understanding given by our previous acharyas. Why do devotees insist on inventing today, thinking they know better, they're smarter, they're more advanced? What are they thinking? I mean, I look at my bookshelves sometimes, just the books, what to speak of when I open the folio of Srila Sridhara Maharaj and Srila Puri Maharaj, and I just find thousands of hours of darshan, of questions and answers, and all the books. And I just go, oh my gosh, it's just, there's already so much. But personally, I find no necessity to go look here, to go look there, because I find answers to questions that I can't even invent yet. I'm not even at the level to ask that question, but there's the question and there's the answer.
But they find answers, they invent answers to questions that didn't exist.
Yeah, they invent things, totally inventing things.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I mean, Gaudiya Math, you can say, and many of them would even agree that yes, we did, after the time of Bhaktisiddhanta, a lot of the preaching, particularly looking towards the Western horizon, slacked off, dropped off, although they did preach in India. Assam and places, but okay, you could say that, and you're not making an offense. Okay, they did that, but Siddhantically, there was only one small group focused around Ananta Vasudeva and his clan. They deviated philosophically from the teachings of Bhaktivinoda and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Nowadays, every little podunk temple in the world is preaching, from Ann Arbor to Guanajuato, Mexico, to somewhere in Peru. Everybody's preaching, but you can hardly find a temple, particularly in ISKCON, that has a correct understanding of even things like the Maha-mantra or the Parampara, the process of initiation. Everybody looks at the pictures and thinks that Gaurkishore was initiated by Bhaktivinoda. It's actually the other way around, Kinda.
Right.
Nobody knows whether it's the history, but what's really important is the proper conception. And people thinking that they fell after an eternity, forever, since ever, before time, in eternity, before the Shastra was manifested, before Brahma was born, in eternity. They were serving Krishna. They were sitting having lunch with Krishna every day since forever. But one day, they became envious of Krishna's Laddu and found themselves in the body of a pig soon thereafter in the material world. It's just like, no, this didn't happen. And it's never going to happen. So whether it's the origin of the jiva, how we got in this world, the Maha-mantra, the worship of the deities, how many people are aware of what Prabhupada told? The worship of Radha Krishna outside of Vrindavan is actually the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. How are they aware? Are people even aware that Rukmini Dwarkadish, or actually, it's not Rukmini. That's not Rukmini. Krishna's playing a flute. That's Radharani. But Prabhupada gave her the name Rukmini. Because, why? Because in L.A., that was the westernmost temple in the world, and Dwarka is the westernmost part of modern present-day India. And it's on the ocean, and the L.A. temple is just a few miles from the ocean. And then Hawaii was called New Navadweep because it's an island, the Hawaiian Islands. But they're not 9. I don't think they're 9. But he called it New Navadweep. And the Panchatattva was installed there at some particular point. So these are things for preaching, but then people they forget that, yeah, there's things for preaching, and then there's Mahaprabhu's conception. And this is the most valuable gift ever to be presented to people. So we don't have, you don't need to worry. Are you a Sakya Ras Bhakta? Are you a Madhurya Ras Bhakta? Be a Dasya Ras Bhakta. That's the concern. Be servant. And then give your full attention to the greatest gift that Mahaprabhu had to offer. And within that, whatever your ultimate achievement can be, the opportunity is there for you. But if you try to rush ahead, and I'm a Shakti Ras, I'm a Manjari, I'm a Gopi, you know what? You're lost is what you are. You're way ahead of yourself, and you're totally lost. Even Das Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, we call him Das Goswami. I wonder why. Das, servant. All right, we ran out of time. We keep going too long here on these things. I'm sorry about that, but that's what it is. So thank you all very much. Giri, was there anything else you wanted to add before we click?
That was it.
It says finished.
No, I think we covered everything.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. Hare Krishna. Until next time. Chant Hare Krishna.